Hey, so this video is basically breaking down the DevSecOps pipeline I've made for a GitHub repository called MedPlum. They're like a medical device open source code company. I'm not too certain exactly the essence of their medical company. I just know that they are a medical company and I'm making a DevSecOps pipeline around their open source code. Currently, most of this, the beginning of this was made with Cursor AI, which in the last video I kind of mentioned the pros and cons of that. I mean, we all know what happens when you ask for something from AI. Of course, I've had to take a lot out of it. Of course, I've had to spend a lot of hours recoding and working with ChatGPT, and then also telling ChatGPT no on a lot of things. Because the thing is, with AI, yes, you can cover a lot of ground, but you have, if you're solely relying on AI, you have to work backwards a lot. So let me point out some key things that AI doesn't really pick up when you're doing DevSecOps. So number one is the let's go down to our security scan. So you see this continue on error option. This is something that ChatGPT and Cursor AI did not originally give me, and I had to make sure it was in the pipelines. And I'm gonna have to go and make sure that it's in every single job here, if I could call it a job, but making sure that continue on error is true on every single one, especially when you're first making DevSecOps pipelines, because what happens is that when you're running DevSecOps pipelines, it's going to fail. The jobs are going to fail because they find vulnerabilities. We want that to happen. But when we're first doing it, we don't want the pipeline to stop when we're running it because we want to get more data. We want the whole thing to go through and see what data we're going to get. So to make sure that the whole pipeline flows, we want to make sure that continue on error is true and that the pipeline doesn't stop whenever it catches some vulnerabilities because it's going to catch vulnerabilities. That's number one. Number two is the reporting. Now, I normally just put things in JSON, but I did see some good suggestions from ChatGPT to go ahead and add it to the security dashboard in GitHub. So putting it in this serif format that allows us to automatically put it in the GitHub dashboard here. You can see I have like 170. That's how many it caught given the different pipelines. I mean the different jobs we've ran. And I'm gonna go ahead and just walk through my pipeline a bit more to not make it so boring. But um, you know, SemGrep is just another popular scanning tool. You can go ahead and look it up yourself. I think I went over it in another video. It will just take you to a dashboard. It's much easier to go ahead and just integrate through the dashboard in a lot of these tools. A lot of these tools like what is it? A lot of tools like Sneak, SemGrep, and Aikido. I don't have it in this pipeline, but I'll probably add it later. But yeah, Sneak, it already has its own dashboard that you don't really need to make a job in the security pipeline, but it's good to have just in case. Sometimes when you're working with Sneak, it depends on the code, but especially when you're working in an enterprise, it can stop. I mean, it can only scan weekly or daily. This will make sure it scans each time the pipeline is ran, so that can really catch things as soon as they go, not just every 24 hours or every week or something like that. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then those are the main things that really kind of stood out when building a pipeline with using AI mainly. Of course, I have a lot of other jobs in here that I could go over, but I don't want to bore you. This is just a quick overview on like what you can do with AI when it comes to DevSecOps, but also the things that you need to make sure as an engineer you have in your pipeline to make sure things run smoothly, and just pointing out some of the key things that it missed and just pointing out some of the key things that I had to spend a lot of time on when it comes to it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the dashboard here. Okay, so this kind of holds everything. Of course, it has code QL, but we can go ahead and filter on SemGrep and also Chekhov, which is like our infrastructure as code tool. SimGrep also finds some infrastructure as code things. As you can see, it's like Azure Security Storage, and then we also can go to Chekhov, and yeah, it also finds a lot of Azure Security Storage things. I can show you some things I was working on in ChatGPT to go ahead and remediate. Let's pull these things up. But essentially, when you're remediating these vulnerabilities, you can just pull up ChatGPT and ask it, like, hey, what's the impact of something like this? Just to initially start getting an idea, but also you're going to have to go through, get your own context, maybe release a PR and see what the developers have to say. But, ChatGPT can give you the initial start on, where you want to start your PR, where you want to start recommending they fix things, getting a severity check on things, because as you can see, it just gives error. It SimGrep and Chekhov, both just give an error right here, and it doesn't really give too much on severity like CodeQL. Another tool I would recommend is Defect Dojo. I'll probably do another walkthrough on that, but Defect Dojo is a lot better at allowing you to upload JSONs from these security scans. So you can go ahead and upload it in something like Defect Dojo, and it gives you like a clean dashboard that you can run from. You can run Defect Dojo from a Docker container, and it runs pretty smoothly. And you can go ahead and monitor your dashboard from there and make sure that you have a clean interface. It's not just like JSON output that's really hard to read and ugly. And also the other jobs that I have in here, like Trivy and things like that aren't going to this dashboard, I can put it in Defect Dojo and just have everything in one spot. So that's pretty much it. That's just my experience coding with Cursor AI and making a DevSecOps pipeline using it, and just going through and doing things there. So that's it.